is a weird kind of pain in loving someone who only notices you sometimes, because it is not the same as being completely ignored. If someone never looks your way, never gives you attention, never makes you feel like there could be something there, then at least the pain is simple. It still hurts, obviously, but it is easier to understand. You can tell yourself, okay, this person does not see me that way, and eventually your mind starts accepting it. But when someone notices you only sometimes, that is where it becomes confusing. Because now you're not dealing with a clear no. You're dealing with moments, small moments, random moments, moments where they suddenly seem warm, suddenly seem interested, suddenly say something that makes your brain stop for a second. And then, just when you start feeling like maybe there is something real there, they become distant again. And that kind of thing can mess with your head more than some people realize. From the outside, it probably looks obvious. Someone might look at the situation and say, just stop caring, they're not choosing you, move on. And maybe that is true. Maybe from a distance, it really is that simple. But when you're the one inside it, it does not feel simple at all. Because you're not only reacting to what is happening, you're reacting to what it feels like could happen. And that possibility keeps you stuck. You start remembering the good moments more than the bad ones. You remember the one night they talked to you differently, the one time they opened up, the one compliment that sounded a little too personal, the one message that made it feel like they missed you. And even if those moments are rare, your mind keeps going back to them because they felt like proof. Proof that you're not imagining everything. Proof that maybe they did care. Proof that maybe there is something between you, even if they're not ready to admit it. And that is the dangerous part, not the feelings themselves. Because caring about someone is not something to be ashamed of. The dangerous part is when you start turning every small piece of attention into a reason to stay. A late reply becomes better than no reply. A dry conversation becomes okay, because at least they answered. A little bit of kindness feels huge, because you have been waiting for it. And slowly, without even noticing, your standards change. You start accepting less, not because you believe you deserve less, but because you're scared. Because you're scared that asking for more might make them leave completely. So you try to be easy to love. You try not to pressure them. You try not to seem needy. You try to act like you're fine with the distance, fine with the uncertainty, fine with whatever they're able to give. But deep down, you're not fine. Deep down, you're checking your phone more than you want to admit. You're reading messages too carefully. You're thinking about their tone. You're wondering why they seem different today, why they were so interested yesterday, and why now it feels like you're bothering them. And the worst part is that you can feel yourself becoming that version of yourself. The version that waits, the version that overthinks, the version that gets happy from one notification and sad from one cold reply. The version that knows something is off, but still tries to make excuses, because accepting the truth would hurt too much. I think that is why people stay in these situations longer than they should. It is not always because they're blind. Most of the time, they know. I knew. Somewhere deep inside, they know someone is not giving them the same energy back. They know when they're being kept close, but not close enough. They know when the connection is surviving, mostly because of their own hope. But knowing and accepting are two completely different things, because accepting it means you have to let go of the story you have been telling yourself. And sometimes that story becomes more addictive than the person. You start imagining what it would be like if they finally changed, if they finally realized, if one day they looked at you and understood that you were there the whole time, that you cared more than anyone, that you were patient, that you saw something in them that other people did not. And once you imagine a future with someone, it becomes hard to walk away from it, even if that future never actually existed. Because in your head, it felt genuinely real. You saw the conversations, you saw the closeness, you saw that version of them who finally chose you properly. And maybe that is what hurts the most about almost being loved. You're not just losing a person, you're losing the idea of what it could have become. And that idea can be very hard to bury, especially when the real person keeps giving you small reasons to bring it back to life. Every time you start detaching, They do something that makes you question yourself. They text you at the right time. They say something sweet. They act like they care. They give you that familiar feeling again, the one that made you fall for them in the first place. And suddenly all the progress you made feels weak. Suddenly you're back to wondering if maybe you were wrong. Maybe they do feel something. Maybe they just needed space. Maybe this time it will be different. But then the pattern repeats. They come close, then pull away. They make you feel seen, and then make you feel invisible again. They give you hope, and then leave you alone with it. And after a while, your heart gets tired, because it is trying to survive in a place where nothing feels stable. That is why inconsistency hurts so much. Rejection hurts, but at least the rejection gives you something solid. It gives you an answer, even if it is not the answer you wanted. But inconsistency keeps you emotionally trapped, because it never gives you enough peace to stay comfortably, never gives you enough pain to live completely. You are just there, stuck in the middle. And the middle is such a painful place to live, because you're constantly trying to understand someone who might not even be trying to understand themselves. You analyze what they say, what they do not do, how they look at you, how they text you, how they act around others, and slowly, your peace becomes connected to their behavior. If they're warm, you feel hopeful. If they're distant, you feel stupid for even hoping. And it becomes exhausting, because you're no longer just liking someone. You're living in a constant state of just emotionally waiting. Waiting for clarity, waiting for effort, waiting for the version of them that made you believe this could be actually something. Waiting for them to become sure about you. But the painful truth is, you cannot wait someone into loving you. You cannot be patient enough to make someone choose you. You cannot be understanding enough to make someone suddenly feel what you feel. You cannot love them so deeply that they are forced to love you back with the same depth. And that is a hard truth to accept, because when you really care about someone, effort feels natural. You want to be there. You want to understand them. You want to give them time. You want to believe that love can grow if you just stay long enough. But sometimes staying longer does not make them love you more. Sometimes it only makes you lose yourself, because the more you stay in a place where you are unsure, the more you start questioning your own worth. You start wondering what is missing in you. Why are you not enough? Why they can give you attention sometimes, but not fully choose you? Why can they enjoy your presence, but still keep a distance? And that is where you have to be careful, because someone's inability to choose you clearly can start feeling like proof that you're not worth choosing. But it is not proof. It only feels that way because you gave them too much power over how you see yourself. Sometimes people do not choose you because they're confused. Sometimes because they're emotionally unavailable. Sometimes because they like the comfort of your attention, but not the responsibility of your feelings. Sometimes because they care, but not enough. And sometimes there's no deep explanation at all. They just do not want you in the way that you want them. And that hurts. But it does not make you less valuable. It just means this is not the place where your love is being met properly. I think at some point you have to stop asking, do they care about me? Because someone can care and still hurt you. Someone can like having you around and still not choose you. Someone can enjoy your attention and still not be willing to give you the love you're hoping for. And maybe that is the part that makes everything so confusing. We want to believe that if someone cares, that should be enough. But care without clarity can still destroy your peace. A little affection mixed with distance can still leave you feeling empty. Being noticed sometimes can still feel lonely, when what you really want is to be chosen fully. So maybe walking away is not about pretending you do not care. Maybe it is about admitting that you do care, but also admitting that the situation is hurting you. Because you can love someone and still understand that they're not good for your heart. You can miss someone and still know that going back would put you in the same cycle again. You can want them and still choose not to keep waiting for them. And obviously it will hurt at first. You will still think about them. You will still wonder if they notice your absence. You will still have your moments where you want to reach out, not because anything changed, but because your heart is used to looking for them. Letting go does not feel peaceful right away. Sometimes it feels like withdrawal from a version of life you kept imagining. But slowly, something shifts. You stop checking your phone as much. You stop reading old conversations like they hold some hidden answer. You stop trying to understand every little thing they did. And after a while, you begin to realize how heavy it was to be tied to someone who made you feel unsure. You start getting parts of yourself back, the calm version of you, the version that is not waiting for someone's attention to just feel okay, the version that remembers love is not supposed to feel like a constant test. And maybe one day, when enough time has passed, you will look back and understand that what you wanted was not just them. You wanted the feeling of finally being chosen by someone you had already chosen so deeply yourself. But the right person will not make you live off small moments. They will not make you feel like you have to decode their feelings. They will not only notice you when it is convenient. They will make things feel clear, not because love is always easy, but because you will not have to constantly wonder if you matter. So if you are loving someone who only notices you sometimes, maybe the most honest thing you can do is stop calling that enough. Because you deserve more than being someone's occasional warmth. You deserve more than almost. And the love you keep trying to give them does not lose its value just because they did not have to receive it. It just means it was meant to go somewhere else.